Welcome to the Mansfield ISD's training on STAAR test administration. This video is presented by the Mansfield ISD Department of Assessment, Accountability, and Analysis for MISD campus staff members who may serve as test administrators during the 2018-2019 school year. Please be aware that this video is not the full training for test administrators, but is instead designed to accompany TEA documents and face-to-face campus-level training, as well as any additional instructions your campus testing coordinator provides during the STAAR testing season. And although our department fully realizes that STAAR testing is not your favorite season of the year, we do appreciate your professional approach to the responsibilities involved. The previous slide noted manuals, and by now you should have received a hard copy of the appropriate test administrator manual from your campus testing coordinator. The three versions of the test administrator manual are shown to the left. To the right, you can see the guidelines that will be provided to any test administrator who provides oral administration support to students. All relevant manuals are also available electronically at the URL listed at the bottom of this screen and contain TEA's explicit instructions regarding STAAR testing procedures. Your campus testing coordinator will also offer additional information related to campus procedures during STAAR. This video will last approximately 11 minutes and will cover the items listed on screen. Campus testing coordinators throughout MISD have requested that these topics be addressed at the district level for consistency and emphasis. It's useful first to provide context as to why TEA requires security and confidentiality protocols. TEA maintains these requirements for the same basic reason that a teacher protects his or her own testing content: to safeguard the reliability and validity of the system and process. Students who have access to test content or answers are not accurately assessed on their academic learning, so that content and the materials in which it is contained must be protected. Students also have a right to privacy regarding their academic performance. Each day of testing, all of you as test administrators will be asked to sign out material allocated to your testing location by initialing a materials control form similar to the one shown here. Remember that once you initial this form, you take responsibility for these materials, so make sure you're receiving what is indicated and keep track of them at all times until you're ready to return your materials. When you prepare to distribute materials to students and begin testing, before doing anything else, make sure all electronic devices, phones, tablets, smartwatches, etc., are turned off and put away. This includes your own phone and any other devices you possess. When distributing materials to students, check names and other information on pre-coded items to ensure that the correct student receives the correct materials. It's especially important that each pre-coded answer document goes to the correct student. And while it might seem silly that someone might make that mistake, double-checking ahead of time is preferable to the terrible feeling of noticing a mistake after the test is complete. So be mindful. Also, be sure to use the appropriate test directions from your test administrator manual. Check with your campus testing coordinator if you are unsure about which directions to read to your students. TEA places special emphasis on the importance of active monitoring by the test administrator. They've even added it to the general oath. This is because active monitoring is the best preventive measure for a variety of potential problems, from serious issues like a student cheating, to inadvertent actions like when a student gets distracted and needs simple redirection. This slide provides some basic do's and don'ts of active monitoring. The key for the test administrator is to stay focused on the students and free from other distractions, like your phone, iPad, or computer. And we do realize that no, active monitoring is not likely to be your favorite or most engaging activity this year, or any other. But it is a fundamental part of your job during state assessments. You'll have other duties in the testing room that align with active monitoring of testing. One such duty is timing. Students are allotted 4 hours for STAAR tests at all grade levels except for English 1 and English 2 EOC, which allow 5 hours. Test administrators must inform students at minimum each hour of the time remaining. You should also record the clock time for the beginning and end of testing on the seating chart. Remember, timing does not stop for student-initiated breaks. It only stops if an event affects all students or if a student requires medical attention. Consult your campus testing coordinator for specific procedures regarding lunch and emergencies. Also, campus testing coordinators will provide instructions for recording time-to-test data for students in grades 3 through 8. Another duty related to the monitoring of the room is documentation. The most important pieces of documentation for test administrators are the seating chart and student roster. This frame shows one version of a sample seating chart, although your campus may use a different format. TEA mandates that every seating chart must include the names of all adults who monitored the room, including those providing relief, as well as the start and stop times for testing. Your campus testing coordinator will offer specific instructions for documentation on the seating chart, roster, and individual student answer documents. These will include test book numbers, form numbers, and other information. TEA also places special emphasis on the confidentiality of test content. It is imperative for every staff member to understand that test content is intended for students' eyes only, and answers are to be completed by students only. Furthermore, students are prohibited from taking notes about the test and are required to avoid discussing content they see on the STAAR. For teachers, this also means you should not inspect the contents of the test book. You might be authorized to view test content to deliver an oral administration of STAAR, but if doing so, you may not make note of or divulge what you've seen. Also, you should never ask students about what was covered on STAAR. If your curiosity is intense, you'll have to wait until TEA officially releases test content during the summer. TEA's rules on confidentiality provide another compelling reason to keep electronic devices put away during STAAR testing, thus avoiding even the appearance of an irregularity. This frame shows portions of the 2018-19 General Oath of Test Security and Confidentiality. Every staff member who may be involved in state assessments should complete an oath, which is valid throughout the 2018-19 school year. Read each statement, then check the space to the left. In the box at the bottom of the oath, you'll notice additional statements pertaining to active monitoring and confidentiality of test content. Be sure to sign your oath when finished. Ideally, none of us will have to worry about this frame because everyone will follow procedures properly and no testing irregularities will occur. But it's not a perfect world, so we need to understand what to do if we encounter a problem during state assessments. First, remember that a serious irregularity involves an intentional breach of test security and/or confidentiality. Simply put, these types of irregularities should never happen, because every one of you is a professional, and you're smart enough to avoid the actions you see listed here to the right. Our best advice is, make good choices. The possible gains from engaging in one of these prohibited activities is minuscule compared to the potential negative consequences. Most irregularities are procedural in nature, involving an accidental mistake in one of the areas listed to the left. You can avoid these types of irregularities by taking care to follow TEA, district, and campus instructions properly, which should prevent problems and ensure a smooth testing process. If a problem does occur, it's not catastrophic, but it's still significant. If you make a mistake, own it and admit it so that it can be rectified quickly. Your first step is always to contact your campus testing coordinator and/or campus principal as soon as possible. They will work with our office to correct the issue in the present and prevent it in the future. Fortunately, Mansfield ISD has historically experienced very few problems with testing over the years. And when it has, staff members have been conscientious about reporting and resolving them. That record speaks volumes about the professionalism and focus our staff exhibits when engaging in the thankless task of administering state assessments to thousands of students each year. We truly appreciate your efforts and look forward to another smooth spring testing season. Thanks for watching.